See, what you see before you is a menagerie of different things. What's up, everyone? Tiger Stacker here, and welcome all you children. Whether you're seeing this when it's newly released or you're seeing it years from now, this video is for you, and also the adults who don't know what we're up against. See, what you see before you is a menagerie of different things, but they have one major purpose. They come from my teaching box, which was a smaller box when I first started stacking, and I moved up to a bigger box because I ran out of room. This teaching box is for my grandsons. I have two of them now, and I look forward to the day when I can teach them what happened to our finances, our money. So as I am talking to my grandsons and your children and your grandchildren, but it's also for the adults, especially those who don't know about how to protect themselves financially. My grandfather taught me some basic things because he was born in the 1890s, back when money was real money, and the only paper money were certificates. So I want to show this to all of you youngsters so you can be aware that every government goes down the toilet. 4,800 plus governments have failed with their currencies. Currency is what man considers money. So my grandfathers used to be able to hold silver and gold like people of his time did, but the government wanted to keep it all centralized, so they talked the people into carrying these silver certificates. And you could exchange that for $1 worth of silver for a silver certificate, and you could do it for a gold certificate, although I don't have a gold certificate. $1 is silver payable to the bearer on demand. And because the different types of currencies that are out there are more and more expensive as the denomination goes up, I haven't really gotten any more than that because I think I made my point. So this teaching box is going to teach on a number of things. So I'm going to do the opposite, where usually I put out products for you to look at. As I show them, I'm going to be taking them away. So I want to thank Shavella at All-in-One Pawn Shop, who's been very good to me. She's given me loads and loads of fakes. She knows I won't put them back out in the market, but I do tend to use them as a way to teach my grandsons how to find a fake, as they don't have that experience, and most Americans don't. So I want to show you here all the fake Morgans that I was given. All of them. Some of them are better quality than others. I did a video on my Morgans where I tested them against multiple different things: ping test, weight, Sigma Metalytics Pro, and then took them to my pawn shop for her to verify she gets the same results. This is probably the worst fake. So I also have fake bars, fake gold, and all sorts of other fakes. Alaska fake, California gold fake, some more California gold fake. This is a really interesting little fake. It looks like a standing Liberty quarter. Very much, and it even has the correct orientation of a flip, not a turn, but it's a fake. These are fakes. 100 mils, that means, as I understand it, silver-plated. There isn't hardly any silver there. It's just there to make it look like silver. And some people will try to pass that off as real silver. So my two grandsons, be aware of these things. And like I said, when I talk to my grandsons, that includes all of you, all the grandchildren, all the children, the newbies. So please don't think I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to everyone. Well, look at the fake versus the real American Silver Eagle. This one's easy to determine, but some of them are not. And another thing is, American coinage doesn't turn. It flips to keep the same orientation. Now that's just with American products. I have here coins that I showed another way to determine fakes versus reals using a bubble jet printer. Go check it out. It's a very interesting discovery I made a few years ago. Bubble jet printers will help differentiate Canadian coins that have the radial lines, or what I like to call striations. It gives a purple hue, silver hue, and black hue. You gotta see it. It's really awesome, and it works every single time, but only for these coins. This one is the fake. This one is real. Now look at these Eisenhowers. Now I have them labeled so that it's easy to tell which is which. Now if you look at the edge, you can see on a clad, you can see copper on the edge. You can't see that on a true silver dollar, which in the case of Ike's is 40%. This right here is a total fake, and it looks like a silver Ike, but it responds to a magnet. It's not the right weight. So, my dear grandsons, you really need to know what you're up against, because there's a lot of people out there that will try to take your money and rob from you. These are real coins. I wouldn't call them real money, but they're real coins, and you can tell because they also have that copper edging. Why do I keep it in there? To teach you, my dear children, to teach you. I need you to go into your adulthood knowing what's out there, to protect your wives, protect your children. If you're little ladies, little girls, to protect your husbands and your children. But it's not just only with our country. Let me show you. This is a Mexican coin, 75% nickel, 25% copper. It's not just happens in America, it happens in all the countries, all throughout history. 4,800 plus currencies have gone belly up in 6,000 years. This is also a Mexican coin, copper and nickel. Clad Soviet coins after the Tsars and before the collapse of the Soviet Republic. All clad. There's no intrinsic value of silver in them. What about coins that came from the past? We didn't have our own coinage for a long time. We used other coinage, and when we started developing our own, we also joined in with trade dollars. And look at it. They look pretty much the same, but this one is the fake. So take a look at it. It flips. They did it right, but it's completely wrong. That doesn't show up on any test for showing silver. These two are real, and you can see it flips to keep the same orientation. This one is another trade dollar. And as these trade dollars get older and older, as any coins get older and older, they go up in value. $260, $290. And you might think that this is damage. It's not. It's called a chop mark. When they went into different areas in the Orient, they would punch these things in there as proof to their citizenry that this was real. Let's talk about coins of the past that came later, the bus cap coins. They're real silver, 90%, but they're from the past, and subsequently their prices are higher. The quarter, the dime, the half dime. Isn't that a kick in the pants? A half dime. They didn't have nickels back then. This right here is a nickel, but a very special nickel. Most nickels have nickel in it, ergo the name. And that's why nickels are a bigger size than dimes. They're not more valuable. They have a base metal, not a precious metal in them, except this type. This type is a war nickel. During World War II, they needed the nickel to make and repair military machines such as tanks. So they decided to put silver in these, 35% silver. And you can tell because you see a letter above that roof. That roof belongs to a mansion that was the home of Thomas Jefferson, one of our presidents. And it's called the Monticello. No other nickel has a letter at the top of the roof of the Monticello. Only war nickels. It started in 1942 and went until 1945. So that's why I find it interesting that we got rid of half dimes for nickels. Cap bust quarter, cap bust dime, cap bust half dime. I mean, This is all what you need to know, my dear grandsons, and I will be happy to teach you in person when I have the chance to be with you in person, because I love you two very much, and so does your grandma. So, if you're here with me and your grandma, understand that you are adored and loved. So let's talk about some other coins. This right here is a commemorative type of coin. It is from the United States. It's a $50, and it is clad. You can see the copper on the sides. Here, there was a time when we didn't have enough copper. I forget the reason why. They started making these cents out of steel. Well, as I showed you the cap bust, later came the seated liberties. Beautiful coins. And if you're really lucky, you'll get one that has great condition. But even with not so great condition, you have the ability to take it and get it traded in for something else. 1 dime. Talk about cents. We don't have pennies here in America. The British have pennies. We have cents. And we have all sorts of different types of cents. We have the Indian 1 cent that's out of copper. We have a 3-cent nickel. Believe it or not. You have the large cent. This is a 2 cent. It looks like it's a shield with the number 2 on the back. Here's a larger 1 cent. The Flying Eagle cent. This one is a 2 cent. Yeah, we had 2 cents back then. This is an American gold eagle that is all fake. And I believe this has just a little coating of gold on the surface, but I have reasons to believe that this has silver in it. So you can see that this is also a typical fake that turns to have the same orientation pattern instead of flip. Some more is seated. Seated Liberty, dime. Seated Liberty, half dime. Look at it. It's a $10 quarter. The Roosevelt dime as we know it before it was turned into something clad. And before that, the Mercury dime, which is not supposed to be called Mercury. It was a winged liberty. The wings are supposed to represent freedom of ideas, therefore freedom of speech, something that our current society is trying to stifle. Don't let them do it to you, kids. You have an inalienable right to say what you think. Not to hurt other people, but to say what you think. So use that freedom and do not let anyone take it away from you. 2 silver quarters. One's 1932, one's 1964. The Barber series, Barber quarter. And this is a dime. It's a pretty big dime, too. Benjamin Franklin, $50, all silver, all 90% silver. The Walking Liberty, $50. Now, wouldn't Nick Coins be wanting to scarf this from me? Look at that nice relief on it. Beautiful, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. 1916 and 17, they exposed a breast that was considered fashion at that time, but the people went up in arms. They wanted it removed. This is a good combination year. 1921, we were coming out of the Morgan dollars. It ended the run in 1921 of the Morgan silver dollar. They've been running that for a lot of years. And they went to the peace dollar. Didn't have as many years. Some people don't like it as much as the Morgan. I really don't care. But the price of the peace dollar is higher from that year than the price of the Morgan. Supply and demand. And also first year this and first year that. People like being the first to own something that was in the prototype stage. This is a 1964. 64 and older are 90% silver. 1966. This has silver in it, but it's not 90% like this one. This is 90%. This is 40%. And this one here with the clad siding of copper is only worth the face value that they put on it. So it's fiat also, based upon governmental promises that mean nothing. So we ended up going to paper dollars that say Federal Reserve note, not silver certificate or gold certificate. This right here, set of clad, you can see the copper, clad, the $1 Susan B. Anthony dollars. So these quarters are more collectible. So what do you think? This is my stacking journey for teaching children, and especially my grandchildren. Boys, I love you very much. I've loved you since I first found out that you were conceived and have looked forward to teaching you. So Gramps is here ready and waiting for you, boys. So come visit your grandma and your Gramps. Thank you, everyone, for having this educational journey with me. And for all you youngsters that don't know, please learn. For all you older people, please consider starting your own teaching box for your children, your grandchildren, so that they can learn what sound money is and they won't be taken advantage of like a lot of us were from the past, including myself. So see you all in the next one. Tiger Stacker out.